Hey YouTubers, another project I'm taking a look at. One of the issues I've always had with the Tacoma is when you're parking with the nose, it's really hard to figure out if you're going to bump anything because of the long, tall hood. Uh, so I thought, oh, why don't I try one of these little Sonar parking aid things that they sell on these Chinese websites. Basically, the idea was these are a little sonar cup, sends out sound. Closer something gets to it, it'll set off like a little alarm, give you the distance. This one that I got is kind of cool because the unit, these sensors, four of them plug into this guy, and then it wirelessly communicates to the little inside unit. So I don't have to run a wire through my firewall. Uh, all I got to do is find power, and these two units should communicate with each other. So I'm going to try it out. I wanted to put maybe a sensor right here in the front, somewhere in there if I can get it. I don't want to drill, so I'm thinking about, you got these little spots in between the bottom grill there. We'll see what we can do. It's just something to play around with. These are fairly cheap. Usually you can get them from like 20 bucks. This one was a little extra because it's wireless, but it wasn't crazy amount of money. So gonna experiment with that. Drop a couple more videos. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Of testing. So what I did, I just got this cool little bit of kit from, of course, another Chinese website. Basically, takes an old computer power supply that I had and turns it into a regulated power supply with 12 volts, 5 volts, and 3.5. So what I did is I hooked that up to the outside unit, and I put one sensor in each of the corners. And as you can see on my dash, I've got the inside unit connected in. And so let's walk a little closer and see what happens. Oh, it's picked me up. It's giving me an indicator and also telling me the distance. Hopefully you guys can see that. Getting closer, getting closer. Now it's screaming at me. That's actually not too bad. Let me step back a little bit. It's reading 0.5, which I think it talks in meters, which is about 1.5 feet. I'm actually, I want to say about 2 feet away. We'll take a look here. At this point, it's screaming at me. It's saying you are like way too close, which I don't know. I don't know if it's because I've got the unit inset, and basically the way it works with the sonar, it's not getting a good signal back, and it's reading inaccurate distance. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not 100% accurate right now. It's stopped. Nope, picked me up again. So that's interesting. We're gonna have to play with that a little bit, but it does work. It's picking me up sporadically. Let me move out of the way so it stops. And now it's gone back to being quiet, which is perfect. So you don't want that thing screaming at you all the time. So that's interesting. So if somebody like were to boom walk in front, it would just start screaming. Let me let it. So 0.4, saying something's about almost half a meter, which is about 1.5 feet, and that's fairly accurate. And right about there, I'm still about 1 foot away from where I would hit anything. But it's saying zero, which means absolutely zero space. So, successful test. One thing I'm kind of jazzed about is really the sending unit is here, and I haven't had to run any wires. All I did was basically put this thing inside, plug it into my auxiliary power port, and it found the second unit, and they're communicating. So let's play with this a little. But one of the things, and I'll show you how I got it right now. Ooh, geez, yeah, sorry. I may have to turn that off. I'm gonna have to figure out how to mount these things. either put a bracket. I mean, that was my first test here, is to figure out if I can put these things inset into my grill instead of doing what normally is you drill a hole, if the sound function would still work. And it does. So now my secondary thing is going to be how far can I put it back there and have it still function. Um, I don't know. We'll play with that. So yeah, successful test. Looks like it can work. All right, I've thrown a little light on the subject and I've kind of finished my testing. Next phase is going to be to figure out how to mount these guys. This seems to be a good position for it. The question is, how do I get it to stay there? I've got a couple of options. One is to build a bracket and attach it somehow to the aluminum I-beam bumper that actually lives right here. It's behind the plastic, big square chunk of metal. And I could somehow attach, using glue or some kind of epoxy, attach a little bracket to that. But then I'll have to bend the bracket to support this thing, because when you look at these guys, let's see if I can pop this guy forward a bit. When you look at these guys, they're actually made to be, there's a hole you drill and it's got a little bit of a flange and it kind of holds itself in there. So I'd have to build a bracket that actually sticks out a little bit here, fills this hole, and then I'll set this guy into it. Or I was thinking, I've got some Sugru. If you guys have never played with that, it's self-setting rubber. Basically, it's kind of looks like molding clay when you first get it, and then you shape it however you want. It actually's got a little bit of a stickiness to it too, which is great. So what I could do is take, put this guy back there, get that guy positioned the way I like, and then use a little bit of Sugru, not all the way around. I don't want to get like goofy with it, but basically maybe at the top and that right-hand side, so that it adheres itself to the top and the side post, maybe a little on the bottom too, I don't know. But I could experiment with it, and the cool thing is once that stuff sets, it's got a really good grip, and it's waterproof because it's rubber, and it's totally removable. So if in the future I'm like, this is stupid, I don't want it, or I have to replace this sensor, I just cut the Sugru and then just peel it off. So two ideals. So I'm going to kind of bat them around a little bit. I'll put these videos up. You guys tell me what you think. Is it worth it to try to build a metal bracket that'll come up and then bend, and then I'll kind of have to fabricate it. Then I'll have to drill a hole in it, and then I'll have to put the sensor in, or a little bit of Sugru, and I could have this thing installed in minutes. And then of course the next thing is to find power. I'm going to have to find power for this guy, the outside unit, and then inside unit's a piece of cake. It's I just run power to it from, like, I can either use a cigarette lighter, which I don't feel like using that, and just run power to it, and then they'll connect. I was thinking, and that's why I'm putting the video up to get some ideas, because I've already got my fog lights, my aftermarket fog lights wired in to come on with their own separate circuit when the lights come on, particularly the hazard lights. So I'm thinking maybe I can wire this to my hazards, just steal a little power off that circuit, so that if I'm parking and I need to figure out, if I'm getting close, I just kick on my lights. That'll kick on this sending unit, and then the inside unit will pick it up, and I'll be able to see if I'm parking right. So you guys tell me what you think of that. I mean, it's either that or I have to run a whole brand new circuit that comes on every time the car is on, which isn't hard, but we'll go from there. All right. Thanks for watching.